Hi guys, hope you can hear me. It's your cryptocurrency here. It's been a long time since I've done a video, a few weeks now. So I thought that after a lot of chat that we had on the Telegram group, I thought I can make another video to see what trends are developing. Hopefully, you guys had a good Christmas, and hope you guys are still in the balances and profiting from the trends that are following. So let's get into the action. So as you guys can see, um, I'm looking at AUD USD on a weekly chart, and I'm seeing a good trend developing here. So I thought that as a result, I can have a look and see this potentially could be a massive opportunity in Aussie USD. As you can see, I've drawn a rectangle here to see from where the price. What I'm expecting here is that it's trying to form a W here, which means the trend will potentially be this way. As you can see, there is some support at this region, so where the current price is. The market has moved from the current price to the higher positions. So like we're looking at roughly about if you look at here, roughly 0.74 region from here, that would be great. So, and as you can see, um, it did hit the RSI at 20, but then it went up. Again, potentially this may fall down a little bit, so we just have to be careful. But I mean, this is where the buy zone is, and usually for a long-term trade, I believe next year, beginning of next year, January time, I believe Aussie will be moving in the upward direction. So just keep an eye on it. We roughly looking to enter at 0.70200 or 300 region. At the moment, the price is slightly higher for my liking, but if it dips, then we should be entering it in the buy zone that we have it here. You see that on weekly. If you see this on daily charts, you will still see the same thing. It formed a W, as you can see here. That was a W, 1, 2, 3, and then the W, and then it went up quite high. Again, it's trying to do the same thing on daily as well. It's showing signs of risk on trade. As you can see, there's a sort of like an inverted, half semi-inverted hammer, and then it reversed the market. Then it slightly reversed basically after a quick drop. So that's daily. Also, there's a very, very strong support at this region as per my rectangle that I've drawn. That's the buy zone. So from here, at least we are looking at roughly around 100 to 200 pips. I am looking at region of about 0.72. So just keep an eye on it. Make sure you guys don't short, because shorting at a lower price, it's basically asking for trouble. So when you guys do short on the trends, make sure you try to short at the upper level rather than at the lower level. Doesn't matter what the SMA say or what other moving trends tell you, but do not short when the price has already dropped massively. I mean, as you can see from this one, from 0.74 all the way down to here, is pretty much a good trend, and it's dropped quite big as well. So just be careful. Just don't start shorting in this region. Look for buy orders. So if it reaches like 0.70200, get into a buy. And at this region, you should be looking to buy rather than short and rather than sell. So keep buying it. And if you guys are scalping, then from between 0.70200 to 0.70500, put your buys in, scalp it that way, and that will be easier for you to do. Okay, so daily trend, weekly trend, showing the same thing. If I look at monthly, again, there's a massive support here. As you can see, monthly is still showing that, okay, it might potentially fall down, but remember, this is for the entire month. So I would not be surprised if there is another, comes January, there is another green candle going upwards, basically. As you can see, it's still forming. So that's the first one. That's the second one. That's third one. So this is like a range. is trying to form a W, and this might potentially do this way, will go up like this. So just be careful as well. Always put your buy orders instead of sell orders on Aussie USD. Okay. Just to have a quick peek at 4 hours as well. As you can see, I see a lot of action here, a lot of green action here. As you can see, this inverted hammer, that's a red hammer, but it also shows us a really good sign. And after the inverted hammer in this particular direction, it actually has a green candle going upwards. So that's a good sign as well as a risk on trade. As you can see, RSI may be following a similar pattern. Once RSI hits 50 and above, that is going in one direction, which is the upward direction. Wait for it to go all the way till 70 and then try to short it if you can. But that I believe that will be around at this region, 10.72, or even higher at roughly about this region here, 0.72 region. So not yet. Keep your buys going. The market has changed the direction, so keep buying in the direction of the market. That way you will become profitable. Okay, so the next trade I'm gonna check, it's the Canadian USD. Again, as you can see here, we have a good trend developing. So I have drawn the rectangle at the top here. Hold on a second. I'm just trying to make it big. All right, there you go, guys. So as you can see, currently this is a 4 hours chart. I'm going to actually start from the monthly, so you'll have a good indication, right? Okay, from monthly, as you guys can see, this one is slowly moving up, is right now about 63 region. What I'm expecting is that, again, this is a sell zone. Anything over 1.35, 1.36 and above, you start shorting from there for Canadian. The only reason Canadian dollar USD is going up against Canadian dollar is because the price of oil. That's the only reason. Now that the oil price is reversing, which I'm going to show you shortly, then also the Canadian dollar will become stronger. So it will then, you will see another movement coming down. Although on a monthly, it is a very strong candle, as I can see here. But as you can see from here, it has dropped quite often. So potentially it's pointing towards slightly, it might go up slightly, but then eventually will start falling down. So just be careful. Do not buy on USD CAD. So just be careful. Once it's in the sell zone, start selling, start shorting them, and there could be a good potential for about 100 to 200 pips. That's monthly. If you look at weekly, you will see it's already hit. As you can see, it's already hit over 70%, 71%, which is obviously on a sell zone now. As you can see with my rectangle, that it has. So if I make this bigger, as you can see, it has now reached our selling zone. All the moving averages are also quite high right now. So and we have fallen underneath. That means a pretty good indication that it will be starting going downwards. So as you can see, the small candle forming. Let me make it bigger. As you can see, a small candle forming. I'm expecting it to have another red candle for at least coming down to 1.35 to 1.34 500 region. As you can see, it's trying to go up. It's trying to go up. It had a lot of weeks here. It also broke this support at this resistance at this level, but I'm expecting it will come back to the resistance very, very shortly in probably a week or so time. RSI is also, again, very, very high. So we are in a good position to start shorting USD CAD. If you guys scalping, again, do your scalping with 10 to 15 pips. If you guys on a long-term trade, if you guys want to enter on long-term trade, make sure you guys enter at least over 1.36 region and then short it down to 1.35 or 1.34 500 region, which will be roughly around for us, 100 to 150 pips. So, this is another opportunity that is developing here. Make sure you guys take advantage of this, and make sure you trade the right side of the market. Look at the fundamentals. The fundamentals currently is that the oil might be going up, so that means dollar will become stronger. And if that happens, then obviously this will be a reverse psychology here, that the dollar will drop against the Canadian dollar. So just be careful. Just make sure that you follow the trend as well in the right direction. Also, a couple of weeks ago we had the Fed's statement, which they've mentioned that next year, because of what's going on in the equity markets, they will reduce the number of increases of the interest rates, so they may not increase anything next year if this market slide in equity markets continues, and there is a lot of reason to believe that it may continue. So if that happens, then the commodities will get stronger, gold will get stronger, and if that's the case, then obviously there will be no rate rises. That means USD will drop against every single major currency, and this is one of the key major currencies that it will drop. And as you can see, when it drops, there's a massive drops from where it was. Again, as you can see, from 128 to roughly 122 region. So you are potentially also the latest drop that we had from 134 to all the way down to 127, and that's a weekly one. But again, look at how it's developing on a weekly, and this is what I look at normally, that how are the candles doing. I mean, market is absolutely unsure about what is going on here, right? Obviously they're waiting for the oil price to stop dropping, and as soon as that happens, this will be a big drop coming in UCAD. So just keep an eye on it. Make sure you guys take advantage of this, because there is a lot of resistance at this level, 1.66 level. I am going all the way back in 2017, beginning of 2017 to 2016, all the way back, as you guys can see. And this is a great potential for us and a big trade for us if we take it in the right direction. And also the RSI, everything is in our favor at the moment in this particular currency pair, and make sure you guys take advantage of this. So I may send some trades out initially, and you guys can take advantage of that. Sometimes, look, you can do two ways at this. You can also scalp for short trades, and keep scalping in the short direction, or enter into a long-term trade as well and let it run. And as soon as it hits our entry price, and if it goes below our entry price, you move your SL into your entry price, so that way you're completely safe. Keep shorting on your scalping activities, basically. So, but do not take it against the trend. Okay, do not take it against the trend. Just be careful, because this could be a good potential for us to get in. So that's USD CAD. Now I'm going to go back to our old favorite and everyone's talking point, gold. And let's have a look how the gold has performed. So I'm going to start first of all with monthly on gold, and I'm going to go to smaller time frames. I usually do this when I'm looking at the gold. As you can see, the gold's pattern is very, very strong at the moment, especially the monthly time frame. Let me make it bigger so you guys can see. This is the monthly, basically, pretty much. So the last drop that we had, and that was about 3-4 months ago, when it dropped to 1159, and since then it's always been an upward curve, right? It has moved 1,000 pips, guys. As you can see, it is very, very, no, actually it's moved 10,000 pips. As you can see, it is a massive move. Okay, at the moment, RSI is 52, is above 50. That means it's bullish, still in bullish section. This is a big candle here, right? The next drop is not up till about at this region, roughly 292. 1292 is where I would look for if I am shorting, but I would not be shorting at that region. I will be shorting, but I'll be shorting only like for maybe 20 to 30 pips, not more than that. I'm not going to go for a long short from there. It might potentially be in a problematic for us. So just be careful when you guys do that. Okay. So that's gold on a monthly level. Okay. At monthly level, I don't tend to look at RSI unless and until it is in a very, very precarious situation, or very, very at the bottom, or very, very at the top. I do not look at that at all. I usually look at the price action on the monthly to see where we are, what it's doing from last 2-3 months. And as you guys can see from last 2-3 months, it had a very strong candle. So going upwards, and that's what he has done. I mean, from last few weeks, I've been banging on about to you guys that look, don't short it, take in the direction of the market. You know, just buy on the dips, and you guys will be making money, and that's what's happening basically in the market. So now I'm going to go back to a smaller time frame now, which is a weekly one, which is the one that I mainly look at. And as you can see, I mean, weekly one, it went all the way to 1279, which was quite, very strong target, up target. But then again, it has retrieved now up till about 1267 to 1266 level. Still, I believe that gold is going in an upward direction, because as you can see, we're still at 60, and potentially this might go all the way up, right? Potentially it might go to 70. So keep an eye on it. It's not over yet. This upward curve is not over yet. No, but not by any means. Until and unless I see a red candle coming in on a weekly, I will not be changing my direction pretty much. I will still keeping in the same direction. Yes, we will have dips from time to time where it's gonna drop like 150, maybe 200 pips maximum, of 100 pips maximum. This is what has happened from there. I mean, this is like 140 pips drop, right? But just be careful, because what's going on, just keep an eye on what's going on in the market, maybe. Especially the equity markets. What's going on in the equity market? There's been a lot of sell-off, and how it begins in January will have a big, deep meaning in gold as well. When the equity markets drop big, gold tend to go up, because there's a lot of panic in the market, and people will start selling off everything. That's when gold starts going up. So it's a fundamental strategy that you have to look at as well when you're trading gold. Always look at the weekly charts. Do not look at lower charts than 4 hours, because yes, if you want to scalp, only scalp for 20 pips. Do not scalp for more than 20-30 pips, because you're asking for trouble if it goes against you basically. So, and you don't want to end up in a habit of losing trades. So just be careful, guys. Just keep an eye on it, and see how it behaves and how it goes. Okay. So the next target for here, so now as you can see, is still in the upward curve, is still going in the right direction. I see that there is a half 50, this is the 50% body, 50% weak, right? But it can happen, guys. It can happen. Okay, it can happen. So just take this opportunity and try to get in if you can. But I will send you guys a signal. Not yet. We have to stay on the sideline and watch it, see how it behaves, see how it goes, and then we will take a position on it if we want to. But do not rush it. Do not just simply take a position when you think, oh, okay, because I said it so, someone else has said it so. No, we will have to wait for it. It's a long-term game. It's nothing stopping us from actually being proactive. Just be careful, because this can potentially keep going up. I mean, look at this here. Remember, this is where I did my first video around this region, I believe, and I thought that, okay, there's a potential that gold might be going up from here, and that's what it exactly did, and it's gone all the way up here. So just be careful. No action yet. If you guys on short from the top, from 1279, then well done. You guys have made some money. But if you guys haven't, don't enter it now and start shorting now, because this can potentially go up with another candle. So be careful. I'm looking at RSI. It's at 50 to 60, around about 60. So still got 10 more to go before you can start thinking of shorting. So guys, just be careful. Weekly gives you the reason why I like weekly is because it actually reduces all the noise. It removes all the noise. from a week perspective, or from like whatever happened in the market, it reduces the noise and it gives you a clear direction and indication very much, right? And it will stop you taking bad trades as well. So let's move it to daily. Daily, I mean, it's painting a bad picture for gold, which is fair enough, because but remember, guys, this is still at 65, right? Potentially it can go up as well. It can do something like this. Look, it went up, dropped a little bit, dipped again, and it might potentially go up. So this can happen. This is a good indication of the price drop on a daily. But remember, guys, this can easily be converted back to green candle tomorrow. Yeah. So just be careful. Wait for it. If I see another red candle coming all the way down here, roughly, I am looking at this region here, the end of this green candle, which is 1255, which I've also mentioned in the Telegram group that I'll be looking at to enter in a buy position at 1255. Again, don't go for a big amounts. Go for a smaller amounts if you guys can. And secondly, as you can see, it's roughly about, so it's actually formed very good support levels here. So 1242 from where, you know, it went up, then 1255, which was a resistance, now it's converted into support. As you can see, it dropped here, candle gone up. Same thing, dropped up till here, dropped till here, then it went up again. So it's formed a really good pattern here, good support here at 1242 region and 1255 region as well. So let's see how this behaves. I'm not going to enter anything yet. I'm just going to wait on the sideline, see how it behaves, and then we can take a look at it. As you can see, I mean, it's kind of dipped from around 68 to 70, and then it's moved a little bit down. So let's see how it behaves. Okay, I'm going to also go down to a 4-level chart. 4-level chart is completely, like, as you can see, it's reached an absolute position of 1279. It dipped again, dipped quite badly from there, which is about 140 pips. But look what happens. It came all the way down to here at this level, and then it gone back up. Then it's now price retrieving it back. So just be careful, guys. There is a good support even at 1264 level as well. So potentially it might go up again from here. It's just like a short-term retrieval. Can happen. So just be careful. This is 4 hours, which I don't tend to look at that much, but it's worth keeping an eye on it as well sometimes. Okay. The other thing I'm going to also look at is I'm going to change the candle and look at Renko's candle, but obviously he doesn't like it at 4 hours. So I'm looking at daily, and look at what the picture is showing me on the daily. You see that? I would not panic until I see a red candle, and as you can see, this is daily, right? You guys should learn about these Renko charts. They're pretty good. And it removes the noise altogether completely. So as you can see, it's still in yellow condition. This may potentially become green and then keep going up. It reduces the noise. On RSI, it's still is 54, which is above 50. Again, that is still bullish biased. So as you can see, it will only change the scenario if, you know, and if basically you have 2 to 3 red candles, then it gives an indication then, okay, it's going to fall down, so we might just come out or might do something else and wait for the red candle basically. Okay, so just be careful. Look at this. I mean, if you have a look at the candle that it formed, roughly around this region in August time, actually September time. This was September. When was this? Roughly, this was November time. So it's going in the same direction. This is very good for directional trading. I mean, if you have a look at it, I've been learning about this one, and it's pretty like awesome actually. The way it moves and the way it reduces the noise pretty much. So as you can see, it had the bad. Remember, we had a massive drop on one day when it dropped like 2,200 pips, and we all thought, okay, it's gonna go down directly. And look what happens. Next candle, he said, okay, sorry guys, but I'm going to go back up again, and then 4 different candles, bang, straight up, right? So keep an eye on it. Usually the trick is if it drops 2 candles in a row, then you know that the downside has already started basically. for 3 candles in a row. As you can see here, 3 candles in a row, and then suddenly is moved up a green candle. If this happens, that means, you know, the price has been rejected and is going to continue to go up. Okay, similar situation here, 3 candles, then it does the same thing, starts going up. Okay, here continuous drop, then this candle is formed. Once this candle is formed, gone up, bang. Same thing, if you look at the pattern, that's second, that's third, that's fourth, that's fifth, that's sixth, that's seventh. As you can see, within a space of maybe 2 years time, look at that, look at how it acts and behaves on the gold, right? So potential, good potential, just keep an eye on this. I also look at this as well. We can look at weekly, and as you can see in weekly, it's trying to make it a good candle. Excuse me, good candle on weekly after the good drop that we had, and this is weekly again. Again, the way this chart works, it's not that this is like, as you will see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 charts. You said, oh, okay, well, it was only 5 charts since the beginning of, you know, February. Why is only 5 candles in there? The reason is that it looks the directional candles. If the direction hasn't moved, it removes the noise and keep the directions going. So that's the good beauty about Renko charts. So yes, I'm still biased towards it going up. It might have a short potential, short retrievals, you name it, and then it starts moving back up. So we just want to be a little bit careful. Daily is showing that it might potentially have another dip, which is roughly around this region I'm looking at, which is 1255 region, and then potentially starts moving the trend back up again, because the equity markets havoc that is currently going on, it's not gonna suddenly disappear, right? Suddenly it's not going to go. You will have something new coming up, and then it will start dipping again. Basically, strong dollar, it hits all the equity market share prices, and usually that's what happens. The dollar remains strong for a long time, and Donald Trump started having trade wars with China, and then as a result, dollar remains strong. And now, when the fourth quarter results come out for all these big companies, they will have a disappointing results coming out, and as a result, the markets will start dipping. There will be panic in the market, and then gold and some of the other good currencies like safe haven currencies will start, you know, becoming stronger. When I say safe haven currencies, one of them is JPY, second one is CHF. Canadian is a good one as well, because Canadian is a commodity currency. Gold is another one as well that will move rightly in the direction we want. So that's how it's going to work out. So just look ahead. Don't enter on trades you don't have to. Don't short. And if you're shorting, guys, just make sure you do it. Especially for gold, when you're shorting, only shorting for like 20 pips max. Do not go over than that, because the direction can easily change on gold. Yes, sometimes some people are biased on different directions, different side of things, but make your own judgment based on looking at the daily, the weekly, monthly, and also look at the Renko charts. It gives you direction. You know, don't panic if the direction is airy-fairy, but just make sure that you look at the candles, what the candles are actually doing as well. Okay, so that's gold. That's 3 good trade setups that we have coming up. And also, I was going to speak a little bit about the Brexit one, which is GBP USD. I mean, this one is we will have a great potential comes March or even comes January. Actually, you know, this might potentially dip a little bit all the way down here, and then go up again when the Parliament in UK decide to do something about the bad. Once the vote gets done in the Parliament and it gets rejected, I've got a feeling, and everyone knows about this, that, you know, the vote in the Parliament, that Theresa May's deal will get rejected in the Parliament. And if that happens, I'll see the price coming all the way down to 1.24 region. And again, from there on, if I look at the weekly chart on here, as you can see from here, we will have a great opportunity basically for the market trend to go up. As you can see, there's a lot of support in this region, current region that we are in, the price. It may potentially come down to this region, 1.24 region, and then also move back up again. As you can see on weekly charts, it's currently 31. This can potentially dip a little bit like it did it here. It will dip, and then it will come down to 25 or even 20. And if it drops, then we've got a great potential for us to go back up again. Remember, guys, this is GBP USD is the most oversold currency pair at the moment. So, you know, there is a potential that it may potentially reverse and go back up. If we know that, you know, Parliament will reject Theresa May's deal, so that will be a factor as well for it to go down. Secondly, in January, because of the market selling and market panic will happen, as you already know, that FTSE 100 has lost profits of 2 years basically, and is back to where it was in 2016. So that's a big drop. I mean, you know, in equity markets. So we just have to be careful. And see how this behaves basically. So the region we're looking at is 1.24. I'm going to be patiently waiting for that region to get hit, and then see what happens. But as you can see, sometimes the weekly gives us a clear indication of what's going on. That is an inverted hammer. Yeah, that is an inverted hammer in a green candle. There's another inverted hammer happening here. Every possibility that this will potentially start going up from here, and you probably will reach around this region, 129. We're looking at 129 region. Every potential. I want to see how this develops for the rest of the week. If this remains as an inverted hammer, or slightly green, or even on a red, right? As an inverted hammer, I have got a feeling, and it's more, and I can see what the price is going to happen is that markets will look at this and say, right, it's actually creating two inverted hammers, and if that happens, price will then start going up slightly. So just be careful. But obviously, we are close to 7th of 14th of January when the date is decided for the vote for the Theresa May's deal. So maybe you will have another 2-3 hammers before it starts going up. So we just have to be careful. Remember, this is a weekly trade, guys. Let's have a look at the Renko charts on this one. Still market panic selling, I believe. Yeah, as you can see, market panic selling has happened, right? But here is the deal. This one, as you can see, is an inverted hammer. It's an inverted hammer. And potentially this might be this is still forming. This might potentially come all the way down here to 124 before it starts and becoming a green candle and starts going up again. So let's keep an eye on it. There is a massive opportunity in GBP pair, and we have to be ready for it. Basically, there will be long-term trends, and we can easily have like 150 pips on this trades. Basically, if you follow the trend, basically, don't panic when the market goes against you. You just have to stick it in there, basically. So another pair that I have been looking at, NZD. This is the one that was a real killer for us earlier in the year. But as you can see now, I mean, there is a strong support, although it's still in the downtrend, but it has actually gone up quite a lot. See, on a daily chart, as you can see, there are two different green candles, and it started from here when it dropped, when Theresa May went to Europe and they said sorry, we're not gonna give you any better terms, and everyone started resigning and all this other crap that started happening in the parliament. It dropped all the way there, and then suddenly guys, from 1.81 to 1.88, that's 600 pips move, So, and if you look at the normal charts, you will see why. Look, see how it's gone on. This is on daily, basically, right? Right now, price action. Again, I'm not too fast on entering on this particular currency pair. I'm only looking at some good ones. As you can see, weekly one. Look at what happened. Is created two nice hammers going upwards, then a big candle. Here again, it's a not sure candle. It's like a price is rejected all the way down here. So if this does happen, or this becomes another candle, green candle, then potentially it will go back up all the way here, which is 192 region or even 195 region. Okay, so just be careful. I mean, just look at the news. This is pure fundamental trading that you guys have to do on GBP pairs, because of what's going on in UK politics and what's going on with Europe as well. So that's another potential we need to keep an eye on, basically. Apart from that, I mean, there are some other potential like euro. I really don't know what's going on with euro at the moment. I mean, obviously the situation in Italy is not helping. The situation with Brexit is not helping. So it's not really doing much like on a weekly. Like it's staying closer to between 30 and 40. It's not really moving anywhere. It's like more like a sideways market. So that way I want to remove the noise and I want to see what Renko is saying. Okay, Renko is saying this is potentially still gonna go down. It might potentially drop big. Okay, so there is a potential that it will drop big. So let's keep an eye on it and let's watch it carefully, very, very carefully. I'm not going to enter trades on EUR USD because it can potentially go against us. This is a weekly chart, guys. So as you can see, there is a bottom here. So we are close to the bottom. But if you look at the longer picture all the way down before 2018, potentially you will go to 1.12, which is where I would probably look to enter in the market and then move it back up again. At the moment, I'm not liking the price action on what's going on in RSI. It's been like hobbling around. It's kind of staying between these two. So if I draw a good kind of trend line here, it's staying between this, and then if I just clone this, and it's staying between this pretty much. That's what it's doing, going there, or slightly upper, which is this one around here. So it's kind of ranging market. It's not really like it's going sideways. It's not really doing anything. But here is the thing, right? Potentially have a look at this. So you have your your shoulder, your head, and another shoulder here. This may potentially go down big. So just be careful what's going on with euro. Okay, this may potentially come down all the way here, right? 1.06. It can happen because there is every potential that euro might drop big, but we just have to be careful trading euro USD unless the situation changes in US, which I believe it will do in the new year when Fed is going to go into that dovish tone where Fed is going to look at equity markets for everything. Comes January rate decision, they will say, sorry, we can't increase it, we're going to keep the same. And that's when all the other currencies will go against the USD, and most potentially the stock market may also reverse. But before they do that, the equity markets are going in a downward trend, so we just have to be careful and watch it how it performs. Okay, so that's Euro USD. Other ones, USD CHF. I mean, this one is another one. If I look at the weekly chart, as you guys can see why I use the weekly charts, right? It gives you a clear sense of direction, and it pretty much removes the noise. Pretty much we know what's going on, right? Look at this, right? That's another two, what do you call it? You have two hammers there, which is potentially showing that this may potentially go back up roughly at this region again and hit its resistance, which is very, very strong resistance around this region here. So if I draw the rectangular region here, this is where the resistance is over $1, 1.02 region, or even slightly higher, right? We can move this slightly higher up to this region here, 1.01 region, where it had a big drop from. So potentially this might go back up again and hit that again, right? So, and this you will see then RSI will automatically, if that happens, RSI will automatically go up. But this is the safe haven currency, CHF. So potentially it might drop again, right? Look at the dips it's doing all the way up down here, then all the way down here, then it come back up again. That's like 120 pips drive up again. Okay, so it's like sort of like a cat and mouse going on right now with it. So I just want to avoid this currency pair for time being. Unless it reaches at this level, then we can start shorting them, and then we will know the direction. Then you can scalp, you can have a long-term short, you can scalp at the same time as well, and that way you will have better opportunities of making money rather than actually being unsure about it. Okay, daily chart again. Daily, as you can see, strong uptrend, right? Strong uptrend, big. Usually when you get big green bars like this, it's a complete, like, change of direction. Market does not want this currency pair to drop. Okay, as you can see, there's a W being formed here as well, which is around 50. So potentially it will go up and reach 70, which it did here roughly, right? Roughly around here, 69, 70 region, or even here, 73. Then it starts dropping. So just a little bit careful with this currency pair. When you guys short and when you guys are scalping, always have a look at like daily, weekly, and monthly and see what's going on. If you see same trend on all three of them, then you know that, okay, you know what, this is going to move in the same direction. So I'd rather avoid it. Yes, you look at, like, unless you want to gain like 10 pips in your scalping, which is, I think it's kind of a bigger risk, right? I mean, it's a massive risk just if you take one lot and if you're just looking for 10 pips. I mean, the risk is quite high that it might potentially go the other way around, and you will have a 10 pips risk or 5 pips risk. You're going to end up losing, like, easily £50 or £100 on a single trade, which you didn't have to take, right? You didn't have to trade. You just thought that, okay, I might just take it, get away with it. But then no, you don't have to do that. This is how you're going to build like a losing habit and then start losing it and then going in all sorts of different directions. Don't do that. Just follow the trend, follow what's going on in the upper limits or the upper time frames, and then accordingly take your shorts or long positions, basically, because it will help you, right? You rather wait 3 days and be in the money, being in the money 50, 60 pips, rather than, like, trying to go for airy fairy trading and then lose money and then regret, right? You'd rather be safe than sorry. So just be careful, guys. The markets right now are very turbulent, very volatile. It's going in different directions, as you can see. Look, I mean, like, look at this, right? First candle, red, okay, green, red, green, red, green, massive green, completely engulfed this red candle, complete engulfment. I mean, there is absolutely no direction. Anyone telling you that, oh, there is a direction here, then, I mean, I would say to that person, oh, well, you must be a psychic, really. So I can't predict what's going on here right now if I look into this chart, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm unsure on daily chart. So I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to weekly. I see, okay, you know what? Potentially it will go up, right? And then hit this region and then come down again. So you know what? I will rather wait here and then take it that way. Okay. As you can see, this is sitting on 50, over 50. Anything RSI, anything over 50, guys, remember that that's like now moving towards the upper direction, basically. Okay. So that's USD CHF, what we have covered. Okay, this will be the most interesting one, JPY USD. I mean, the price action on this one is amazing. And again, Japanese yen it's a safe haven. So when anything goes wrong with the dollar, usually this is the currency that people like, kind of, Japanese yen becomes stronger, USD becomes weaker. As you can see here, guys, in Renko charts on a weekly, it's done this. So obviously you see the drop here from 101.13 to second. Now it started forming here. This can potentially go down all the way up here. So we are looking at a potential drops. But the way to trade this one, I'm going to look at the daily chart, actually, which will show me some slightly different things. Yeah, has predicted 3 different drops, okay, after, unsureness in the market, 114, bang, score all the way down, coming down, right? I'm expecting this trend to continue for the downward movement. But what I would say to you guys is wait for it to come back up at this region again, 113 to 1134 region again, right? The reason why I say this is that once we change the charts back to candles, you will see why. Okay, this is daily, big, massive candle going up, right? It went all the way down here, 110.271 and hit right at the bottom, moved up a bit. Still might potentially see another red candle coming down. You never know. Okay, so just be careful. Now we're going to look at for the patterns here. Okay, there is a massive support at roughly between 109 and 110. So potentially it will hit the support, go back up. So roughly around this region, as you can see, is a good support here. I mean, let's draw from here. It's a good support at this region, right? And then it's gone up twice. It's gone up twice basically from here. So 1, 2, okay, 1, 2, and here 3. So potentially it might do the same thing again. It might go up again, but okay, have a look at this. It had a big sell-off, market sell-off. This is pointing now upwards, so just be careful. I'm going to go back and have a look at what's going on in the weekly end. Again, weekly now, this could potentially have another green candle coming this way. It's actually forming a hammer. So if I look at on Friday and when the market closes and this still remains a hammer, then most probably there will be another green candle coming up this way. And then potentially we can start shorting around this region, 114 region. As you can see, it's dropped so many times, 114 region, so potentially it might come back down again from there, and we can have a really good 300, 400 pips on it. Monthly, yes, you can have a pick at it. As you can see, monthly it's very negative, so it may potentially drop and come up about 107 or even 104. There is on monthly there is absolutely nothing up till here, 108, right? 108 is the region. As you can see, if I expand my rectangle, as you can see, it's got up every potential that it might possibly come all the way down in this region and then start going back up again. Until then, it might keep dropping, come down. So when I say pullback means when we are shorting, when it goes back up, and if it goes back up 100 pips, then we know, okay, you know what, there's a really good potential for us to kind of pull it back and drop it down again. So wait for the pullbacks. Pullbacks are really good way of trading. It gives you better direction, better indication of what's happening in the markets. Also, the fundamentals is the key. So guys, you should be reading investing.com. This is the website that you guys should be keeping an eye on. So a lot of good analysis happens here. A lot of good technical analysis happens here. So just be careful when you guys read this. As you can see, Dow ran 1,000 points. I mean, incredible, right? This can easily happen. So some of these guys are really good when they write some of the analysis. Not all of them is correct. See, look, gold. I would say this is still true, but I will wait for it to have a dip. The dip will come, and once the dip comes, then you will know that what's going to happen. So let's just wait for it. Let's just see what happens. Yeah, as you can see, he's predicting something similar of what the trade of what Ting has said to us. So we just have to kind of follow the trend. Apart from that, guys, I'm gone now. So as you can see, USD JPY, I've covered most all the major ones. So just keep an eye on it. Don't overtrade it. And, we'll see you guys in the new year. Yeah, that will be it. Thank you so much for listening, and enjoy your happy new year. And enjoy your time off from work.